Hello, good evening, wherever you are. It's an exciting week and you're welcome to GHOne Television, and this is News Tonight. My name is Patrick Stevenson. And
mine is Kemini Amano. First up, our top stories. Take a look at them.
Now, the police are working around the clock to get to the bottom of an alleged rape of a 19-year-old maid servant by her Lebanese boss. Meanwhile, enraged former Attorney General takes up the case pro bono.
Also coming up in this broadcast, persons with disabilities demand their rights and refuse to be handed chicken change.
A lot of places, to be from more than 20, even I'm still applying to places, but none of them have ever called me for an interview.
Well, be warned if you have defrauded the state in any way through corruption, because government will soon chase you for prosecution.
If you don't do a good preparation, you don't do a good case, you go and lose a case.
You remember the days of summon? Well, those days are back as the AMA desperately makes another attempt at making the city the cleanest on the continent.
Well, and in business tonight, minority flags government for insignificant reduction in petroleum products, which they say makes no difference to consumers.
Very much for choosing us here on News Tonight. We're live on GH1 Television, also live on DSTV channel 361. Again, my name is Kemini Amano. Let's face it, getting a job these days can be a Herculean task, but it's even more daunting if you're a physically challenged person. As part of our series on the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, Patience Atipoka spent a day with an unemployed physically challenged person who has been sharing his struggles and frustrations he goes through on a daily basis. Take a look.
Joseph Makawadom is 29 years old, undergraduate from the University of Ghana, and holds a degree in political science. Joseph's certificate is only for decoration purposes, among other documents, because he is unable to get a job, not because he does not qualify, but due to limited policies to allow and encourage the employment of persons with disabilities. After completing the University of Ghana and moving on to do his national service, he hoped to be retained after his service, but was greeted with disappointment after completing the mandatory 1 year of service.
When I finished my service and I was not retained there, I applied to a lot of places, but none of them called me for an interview. I believe that maybe a lot of people apply for the positions and maybe they've gotten those that they think have the qualifications that they are looking for, and because of that they are not contacting the people that they think they will not even consider for the interview.
Joseph hails from Malido, a community in the Yendi municipality which has no electricity, internet access, and no likelihood of employment. He has been compelled to stay in the capital and hope to land himself a job. Joseph has written over 20 applications and still writing, hoping and praying for an opportunity.
If I should go to Yendi, I have to rent a place and all that. I can't afford that. So if I should go to the village too, we don't even have lights over there. And it means my phone will be off. If there is anything at all, nobody can reach me. And I can't reach people too, to get my information about job opportunities and all that. So I think that if I should go there, at the end of the day, I'll end up being in the house and I can't get any job, and even going back to school will be a problem for me.
His disability started as a pain in the hip, which his parents treated as a sprain, but gradually paralyzed him, and he has since been confined to this wheelchair since age 6. Joseph could only dream of how classrooms looked like, as he had never been to school. A reverend father who visited his village's parish on seeing and interacting with him saw the need to put him through school at age 12. Due to his brilliance, his teachers kept him through some of the classes.
Because of my disability that I went to school, because I was not schooling in the first place. It was my brother. But when I fell sick, My father said then he can't go to farm alone, then my brothers will come back and be helping him in the farm. So when I got the wheelchair, I was having nothing to do. I said then I'll go to school. And I started schooling.
Joseph Makawadom has had to contend with numerous setbacks as a result of his disability, from wheeling himself from one lecture hall to the other and having to be carried by friends and colleagues in order to attend lectures are but the few difficulties he faced. He has, however, defied all odds to get a degree and says he would rather be educated and get a decent job than to beg on the streets.
Even the university campus here, we have office. And when you go there, nobody's working there as a physically challenged person. But they are training us for us to gain employment or to be employed. People always ask me, do you know any big politician that they can connect you and get jobs? I don't know anybody. Because at times you even go there, you won't get what you are looking for, but at the end of the day, they will use you to campaign.
There are several laws which, if implemented, will make life better for persons with disabilities, but most of them are not applied to the letter. For instance, the National Disability Act 2006 gave special tax exemptions to companies that employ the services of persons with disabilities and to the person living with a disability. Patience Atipoka Atwa, GHOne News.
Now we go to other stories that we have at the top of this hour. We do not need charity. Persons with disabilities are not second-class citizens, and release the common fund for persons with disabilities without delays. These were some of the inscriptions on placards that persons with disabilities carried through town to send a strong signal against how they are treated in the country. They want their rights respected instead of showing them charity, among others. The Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations say the release of a 3% share of the common fund is a problem. There's more on this report.
With placards in their hands, several persons with all forms of disabilities took to the streets in Accra to mark the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Inscriptions on some of the placards were, "We don't need charity, we need our rights. Education is our right. PWDs are not second-class citizens, and release the common fund of PWDs without further delays," among others. This was to drum home their challenges, which they say have been there for far too long without any better solutions. Speaking in an interview with the news team, President of the GFD, Yao Ofori Deborah, commended government and other stakeholders, both present and past, on progress made so far. He, however, called on government to pay critical attention to employment of persons with disability and resolve issues surrounding the disbursement of the 3% of the District Assembly's Common Fund meant for persons with disabilities.
If we take the implementation of the Common Fund for persons with disability, there are many persistent complaints about some of the district authorities not serving the interests of persons with disability with their money. Some of them divert the money to other users, some of them shortchange them, and some of them are completely denied of the access to such fund. There are so many persons with disability pursuing various courses of study, but when they complete, they find it very difficult to get job.
Speaking at the event, Gender Minister Otiko Jaba assured her ministry will work at making life worth living for the disabled, calling on the Common Fund Administrator to work closely with the MMDAs to release the Common Fund to the disabled by the close of the year.
It is gratifying to note that the Ministry of Gender has also launched a program dubbed #Operation Get Off the Streets Now for a Better Life. It will remove hawkers, beggars, disabled, mentally ill, anybody who is on or lives off the street. We are telling you today that the time has come for you to get off the street now. The streets are no place to make a living, and begging is not dignified. It is not a profession.
Founder of the Girls Education Initiative of Ghana, Elizabeth Patterson, who was at the event, called for a better implementation of the inclusive education policy.
A number of my girls are dyslexic, and one has dyscalculia as well, which means that they learn English and math differently. And I believe that there's no system really in place for educators to fully understand what it means for a student to have a learning difference or a learning disability.
International Day of Persons with Disabilities is commemorated on December 3 every year to promote the rights and well-being of persons with disabilities. The day is also to create awareness of the situation of persons with disabilities in every aspect of political, social, economic and cultural life. Alice Aite, GHOne News.
My hope, Patrick, is that this yields something. I mean, they went onto the streets to march peacefully, asking, in fact, begging for their rights to be respected, which shouldn't be the case. But at the end of the day, we hope that it will yield something.
You know the beautiful thing about this? I think they've equally learned that the only way to get what is rightfully yours, whether it's policy intervention, resources, or whatever it is by getting onto the streets. Bad signal for government, but let's hope they pick up the right cues that they need to provide the resources that this particular unit needs to fend themselves.
Well, now let's turn attention to some other stories now. And more than 700 trainees of the Accra, Tamale and Ho schools of hygiene have boycotted lectures over what they describe as a failure by government to restore their allowances. Now, the students are refusing to rescind their decision and head back to the classrooms despite an impending end of semester examination, which starts next Monday.
The adrenaline that spurs students to catch up with previous lessons or better still commence any new session in class was missing when GHOne News team visited the lecture halls of the School of Hygiene in Accra. The trainees across the 3 schools in the country had boycotted learning activities to mount pressure on government to restore the allowances that have delayed for about 3 months. Monday's boycott of classes follows a demonstration last week during which the students demanded their allowances from government. The Vice President of the Student Representative Council, Kuntun Blankson, in an interview with GHOne News, justified their action as they feel government has deliberately neglected to restore the allowances.
As far as we have gone through the necessary process, as far as the Ministry of Health has given us directive that we should go through the necessary process for which our e-source account has been submitted, for which our bank account has been submitted, for which everything which is due to us has been submitted to them, for them to effect the payment. What is preventing them from giving us the money? If the President has sanitation at heart and that he has set a whole ministry for sanitation and that people, the human capital base to fill that position, for that or to occupy that place, you are neglecting them from this payment structure. Then I don't know where we are heading towards.
The school, since its establishment in 1925, according to the school authorities, have never experienced such agitations and misconduct from students. Speaking with the principal of the School of Hygiene in Accra in an exclusive interview, Raphael Komla Nuchukwi condemned the students' action, especially when the end of semester exam is only days away.
We will still want to maintain that standard as tutors. We will not allow them to use that as any permission to go and misbehave in town, where they will go. We are for demonstration because we are not taking allowance. Where they go and misbehave, trying to destroy them, we are against that. We want to advise them to make sure we end the semester peacefully. So we are even reminding them that schools end of semester exam is next week. They should calm down, learn and come and write their exam.
But exams or no exams, the students will not budge and insist they will stay out of the classrooms until the sector minister hits their petition.
We decided until the government listen to us and restore the allowance as early as possible, we are not coming to class.
School of Hygiene across the nation did not only end by boycotting the classrooms, but right here at the premises where the hostel sits very idle and empty, as several others have gone home, leaving the school virtually empty. This is to send their frustration down the doorsteps of the sector ministries.
the news team spotted a student leaving the hostel for the house.
Well, that's an interesting development. We hope the school authorities and government will come to the aid of these students. But whilst we're on that, we go to the Ashanti region. And when it comes to public order in the Ashanti region, law enforcers are often not needed, especially when tradition is involved. Well, all business activities comes to a halt as part of events marking the final funeral rites of the late Asante Hima Nana Ifia Kubi Sewa Ampim II. There's more details in the following report.
Edum, the center of all business activities in the Ashanti region, was literally a ghost town. On a normal day, this area is choked with people transacting all manner of businesses, but every shop was closed. This is not a state of emergency, nonetheless a scene signifying a revered tradition. It is the fourth day into the late Asante Hima's funeral, and traders here have complied with a customary directive to halt all trading activities. Again, the rich Ashanti culture is heralded with maximum cooperation and respect, although some customers were somewhat affected as they wandered around the central business district with the hope of meeting a need or two. Nobody will speak to us. Most people seen on the principal street were in their mourning clothes. The ministries greeted us with a similar spectacle. The current situation in Kumasi may be new to strangers, but it is a tradition and has to be respected and observed religiously.
Our traditional systems and the sort of security that they impose, you know, they seem to have a grip on the mentality of citizens compared to the, if you like, the state apparatus or the state security machinery.
So I hope that as a people we pick a cue from it and not just abandon, you know, our traditional systems.
Well, on that note, we'll take a quick breather. We'll be right back with more news.
The challenges facing the contemporary youth is no different from that of the generation before us. We need focus, skill set, and direction to achieve that goal. Today is ours for tomorrow. On Tuesday, 5th of December 2017, at the Accra International Conference Center, the Ghana Youth Summit comes off. First in history, Ghanaian youth are going to meet to discuss things that concern us, our challenges, our impact, and what we can do to cause a change in our lives. Come join us, celebrate youth icons and a lot of impact they have made in the society. And then we know our challenges and way forward. Join us because there will be a job fair. Come achieve something better for your future. I'll be there. Be there too.
8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, close to 2,000 hours a year. That's what you invest in your business as you strive for the life you dream of. You're putting in the work. Make sure you get what you deserve. Get retrenchment insurance. Get an overdraft. Get a Visa credit card. Get Barclays Prestige Banking. You've earned it.
Have you ever wondered where you could find a great dentist or optician in Accra? How about finding that awesomely neat and trendy hospital in Tema, where you can take your family when they need to see a doctor, be it a hospital, lab, ambulance service or endoscopy center? Looking for any type of trusted medical service has never been easier. Thanks to My Care Finder, Ghana's most comprehensive healthcare services directory and customer review website. Our network of service providers is growing rapidly every day. My Care Finder helps you find the right provider based on location, reviews, and overall ratings. The provider profiles are complete with information on open times, amenities, insurance accepted, clinical specialties, and more. Visit mycarefinder.net today to start searching and sharing your reviews.
Ghana needs your taxes. Do you pay your taxes? We drive on deplorable roads. Our children attend poorly resourced schools and we visit hospitals in bad state. Let's pay our taxes no matter how small our income. Every little tax helps. We always ask, what does the government do with our taxes? Government depends on these taxes to bring development to us and to build our nation. So I ask, do you pay your taxes? I'm asking you, do you pay your taxes? It's your civic duty. It's the law. Our taxes, our future. This advert is brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, National Commission for Civic Education with support from UK Aid and GIZ.
The challenges facing the contemporary youth is no different from that of the generation before us. We need focus, skill set, and direction to achieve that goal. Today is ours for tomorrow. On Tuesday, 5th December 2017, at the Accra International Conference Center, the Ghana Youth Summit comes off. First in history, Ghanaian youth are going to meet to discuss things that concern us, our challenges, our impact, and what we can do to cause a change in our lives. Come join us, celebrate youth icons and a lot of impact they have made in the society. And then we know our challenges and way forward. Join us because there will be a job fair. Come achieve something better for your future. I'll be there too.
You're welcome back to News Tonight on GHOne Television. Time now to bring you up to speed with developments in the business and the economy.
Business Brief is brought to you by Dusk Capital. We see a millionaire in you. We're looking for you, the next millionaire. We know of your stressful routine. From those 12-hour flights across the Atlantic to your hustle through traffic every day. From burning the midnight oil to that laptop that never sleeps. We know where you are in life and we know where you want to go. Let us take you there. Thinking investment? Think Dusk Capital. Dusk Capital. We see a millionaire in you.
Bronya, Freddy's Corner, Yasa babyum, Bronya, Obiasi Freddy's Corner, Edientia, yeah, Chenyoma, I mean free instant gift. Nyawuyan, so where Freddy's Corner shop, Bia Wagana Abia. What shall do of Freddy's Corner Bronya where? Who be nyache dear bit to say, wine, mackerel, biscuits, and in your man would be brave.
Wow, Freddy's Corner, thank you. Freddy's Corner, me that say.
Nyawuyan, so where Freddy's Corner shop, Bia Wagana Abia. Not do mobile phone, with laptop, or printer, and also PlayStation. Not do instant gift. Wow, to Mrikako Freddy's Corner. Not what do I tell you. Freddy's Corner, your home of authentic mobile phone and accessories.
Head office, Ekukumlimli, any city light, ne DNM. Fre 020-7937-323.
Now, whilst we talk some business and economics, the minority in Parliament has shut down government's reduction in prices of petroleum products. Now, according to the NDC MPs, the reduction is negligible and thus will not make any impact on consumers. Government has directed the National Petroleum Authority to reduce prices of diesel and LPG, which have been rising since January. However, speaking to GHOne News, minority spokesperson on energy, Adam Mutawakilu, argued the percentage decrease should have been 20% for real effect. He wants government to reverse the prices of petroleum products to how they were in January.
If 50% of the export price of petroleum products are taxes, then the government has control over the taxes and therefore could touch on one or two of the taxes to put to relieve the burden on Ghanaians. At that time, the minister said, oh, it is not possible. Today, he's come to realize that, yes, it is possible, and therefore, a reduction in the diesel by 7 pesos, which is about 1.5%, and that of the LPG. It is clear that, yes, there is a reduction, but the purpose of any reduction is to cushion the ordinary consumer. And I think that this reduction is too insignificant. It will even be felt by anybody. And therefore, I'm calling on the minister to do more. I expected it at least to erode this will be felt by anybody. And therefore, I'm calling on the minister to do more.
The president has charged corporate Ghana to emulate generous actions of Zenith Bank towards Ghana's education sector. Now, the bank has awarded about $2 million in support of Ghanaian students of Ashesi University. The president passed the comment at the official.
Intermediation in our own country is extremely important. It's a Pan-African bank. It's a bank that is operating in several places on the continent and in our ECOWAS region. These are the institutions that with encouragement and support are going to bring our continent together.
Founder and group chairman of Zenith Bank, Jim Ovia, explained what appears to be the bank's interest in the education sector.
This is our own little way of contributing to the environment, contributing to where we do business, not just making profit. When we make profit, we don't keep such profit ourselves. We invest it in the community where we do business and invest it on the indigenous, on the people, educational empowerment, leadership, and infrastructure.
First Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Maxwell Opoku-Afari, describes the step by Zenith Bank to build a huge edifice such as this in Accra as a clear sign of the success of the bank and their commitment to contribute positively to the Ghanaian economy. He urged management of the bank to continue its good work and abide by the governing rules of banking in Ghana.
And so to God be the glory, the Zenith Bank head office.
Well, we're in December and the month ushers in the festive season of Christmas. Now, Kempinski Gold Coast City Hotel in Accra brought together family and friends over the weekend to usher in the festive season with the lighting of a gigantic Christmas tree. The heavily decorated tree, which sits at the center of the hotel, is just a beauty. You should take a look.
Speaking at the event, the Tourism and Creative Arts Minister, Catherine Afeku, lauded management of Kempinski for promoting tourism in Ghana, especially the See Ghana, Wear Ghana, Eat Ghana brand initiative by the government. She spoke to GHOne News.
When we launched the See Ghana, Eat Ghana and Wear Ghana, Kempinski was one of the front runners. But other hotels are also coming up with bigger and brighter ideas to push the hospitality industry to the next level.
According to the Director of Sales and Marketing of Kempinski, Victoria Obiako, this is the third of its annual program organized every first Sunday of December by bringing together family and friends to usher in the Christmas season. We spoke to some patrons of the business and appreciate the efforts of hardworking staff who have contributed immensely in building the UniCredit brand. CEO of UniCredit Ghana, Samuel Sechi Hyde, congratulated all staff for their hard work and urged them to work zealously to enable UniCredit become the #1 banking choice of the nation.
We are poised to record unmatched growth in the coming years, and in terms of market share, customer deposits, total assets, and profitability. Let us therefore look into the next decade with a positive anticipation and a firm tenacity to make UniCredit the banking partner of choice to our target markets in the entire nation.
50 outstanding staff from various branches and departments were awarded. Some of the recipients, including the ultimate winner for the night, Ophelia Dua, who was adjudged the best mobile banker, spoke to GH1 News.
Overwhelmed, just one word. I just thank God for winning the award, that's all. When I started working with UniCredit, I saw the company has a very bright future, and working with the company, I think I'll be very, very safe. All right, so in everything, every day of my life, I feel very happy working with UniCredit.
Well done to UniCredit. I almost said
You almost said
Unibank.
Unibank.
Yeah,
Well,
but I think that's a mother company, is it?
Is
it?
Yeah, I think it should be.
Yeah, but it's all part of the Huda.
It's all part of the Huda Group, and so it all fits into the narrative. But that brings us to the end of business. There's more news coming up. To stay with us.
Business Brief was brought to you by Dusk Capital. We see a millionaire in you.
Well, welcome back. You're watching News Tonight live on GH1 Television. Time now for Insight. And well, tonight we'll put the spotlight on sanitation in the capital city, Accra. Now, remember the era of sanitary inspectors known as town council or saman if you're a lot older than I am, who will stop at nothing to make sure that every household in the city is kept clean. Well, they are back in town, and this time much tougher than before, determined to make the president's dream of a clean city a reality. The AMA has revamped the Saman concept. Now, the concept will see daily sanitary inspection, in which environmental health inspectors will conduct house-to-house inspections of waste generation centers such as households, institutions, markets, and medical facilities to check whether the laws on health and hygiene are adhered to. Now, Dela Michelle was with the AMA when they launched the revamped concept and conducted some rounds here in Accra. Take a look.
Every first Saturday of the month has been dedicated to mark the National Sanitation Campaign, which was recently launched by the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, on November 13, 2017. This policy initiative by government is to enforce the already existing bylaws 1995 of the AMA. A task force made up of health officers from the AMA and some police personnel were deployed to various communities to ensure that residents adhered to the directive by the Assembly. The cleanup exercise was expected to last for at least 4 hours, that is from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. The news team followed some officials of the AMA to the Ayawaso East District, specifically Nima. Upon arrival, some shop operators defied the directive as they were operating in full swing. Sanitary inspectors of the AMA to report to their office on December 4. Hadiza Musa, one of the corporate, pleaded with the inspectors, claiming that she was unaware of such an exercise, but her plea was not taken into consideration as she was served with a summon letter. The task force equally summoned landlords whose homes lacked toilet facilities. Some of the corporate declined to speak to the news team. Officials later headed to Bawaleshi around East Legon, where some residents had complained about strong stench whenever it rains. It was shocking to discover a piggery sited close to a dump site within the community. According to a resident who spoke to the news team, owner of the piggery had abandoned the area, and often the pigs wander within the community, destroying properties. He appealed to the AMA to act immediately.
We've been suffering from the mess from this piggery, and for about 8 years now we've been trying to get him to move the piggery, but he doesn't really bother. Anything we do, we just couldn't be bothered, to the extent that he even asked whether we brought land from wherever we came from when we were coming here. This land belongs to Gridco. It's not for anybody as such. So I mean, he has no power over the land.
In response to his petition, the Accra Metro Coordinating Director, Sam Ayedate, ordered for the immediate closure of the piggery.
We're shocked to see this very unhygienic, piggery here. So we are giving them 3 days to pack off. In addition to that, we are surprised that under the pylons, I told about the distance of our 400 meters. New settlement, illegal settlement. You saw them. The people are now putting up new structures. So we have also given them, if you see, we've marked some of them. We have given them a week for all of them to evacuate.
He further warned against illegal settling within the community. He assured that drastic action will be taken against settlers and any other person who flout directive by the assembly henceforth.
We'll make sure first we give the information. We'll make sure after the information we give them the notices. If you look at our, the health inspectors, they have the notice that they give you. They give you a notice first for you to either rectify the nuisance, or if you're not able to rectify the nuisance, then follow up with court order and then we'll clear you.
The president has made it his mission to make sure that Accra is the cleanest city in Africa by the time he leaves office. He admitted that indiscipline was a major stumbling block in Ghana's attempt to improve sanitation, but has assured he adequately resources waste management companies with modern tools to help solve the country's sanitation problem.
So Sama is back.
In its glorious colors, if I can say that, because the report at some point was getting a little graphic, but that is the state of sanitation in the country. Now, the attempt by government and essentially the AMA to revive the Saman concept. Well, some development theorists would argue that, you know, we have tried this before. And some who lived during that time would have told you it worked, it didn't work. But this is the new regulations that you have, the sanitation bylaws. Now, the Metro Public Health Department has a core mandate to promote and safeguard public health, that individuals, households, and various communities in Accra will, in the not too distant future, understand sanitation as a way of life and adopt healthy lifestyles. And
can you imagine how woefully we have failed at that?
Well, to the extent that the report we showed earlier, you know, highlights some of the grave challenges that still confront us as far as the management of sanitation is concerned. I don't think we have succeeded in the fight
at all.
I don't think so, and I'm sure Ghanaians watching us, if you have done business anywhere in Accra and some of the districts you have around Accra, clearly you know that sanitation is a problem. But what I'm not too sure of is whether or not this is one of those things that's going to work. I know every now and then we cite cities like, you know, Kigali and how clean Kigali, for example, is. Truth of the matter is that enforcement of laws in these places work. But would you enforce laws that people don't understand? So, for example, when you say you're going to people's houses to check on them and make sure they are doing things that the law would expect them to do they know, you know, is this thing clear? Is this thing clear in the minds of the ordinary Ghanaian, so that when you show up to have a conversation around, you know, how they're engaging with these laws, whether or not this is fine. But I understand we have been joined over the phone lines by the Metro Coordinator.
In fact, he leads this team that is going on this Sama business.
Right. So he has to be the best person to give us some reactions to that. Good evening, Mr. Samaya, if you can hear us.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. Yeah.
Well, and so Saman, as we popularly know it, is back, and the question
No, that is back. It's always been around.
It has always been around. In fact, that is even beautiful, because if it's always been around, the question that I'm sure Ghanaians and particularly people living within the Accra Metropolitan Assembly will be asking is, what is different this time?
Yes, this time we are trying as much as possible. You know, formerly we had problems with the numbers and the capacity of the health inspectors to be able to go to house. Now we have, with the assistance of the School of Hygiene, we now have the numbers. And what we have decided to do is to go from, we zoom in an area, and then you go from house to house and ensure that the whole area is covered. To make sure we enforce all our sanitation bylaws. That is what we are doing.
Now let me take you up right on that. Let me take you up on that, Mr. Aye. So we're going house to house into neighborhoods to make sure sanitation bylaws are respected. The question I'm asking, are all Ghanaians residing within the Accra Metropolitan Assembly aware of these laws and the indicators for which they are supposed to be implementing these laws?
As regards sanitation, nobody tells us that they are not aware of sanitation. that you are not aware that you have to empty, you clean your household. You cannot tell me that people are not aware that they must clean their household. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows they must have toilets in their household. Everybody knows that they must be able to remove the garbages from their household. These are things, basic hygiene that everybody does. Sanitation matters that everybody does.
Well, and so when you say that everybody knows these laws, or everybody as a boy should understand that hygiene is something they're supposed to live by, I suspect even today, people know these things, yet we still have these challenges. Don't you think that the problem goes beyond the enforcement of laws or the crackdown of the whip? Because if, for example, rubbish is not being picked up, or we don't have proper disposal sites from the quarters of the AMA, this is going to be a problem for the various homes that we have within the assembly.
I'm telling you that, look, we have provided the facility. We have the police pay system that everybody must hook onto the police pay system to ensure that our service providers come to your homes to collect the garbage. So if you don't hook up to the police pay system and you want to just go and dump it everywhere, that is where we try to get to. We are insisting. Apart from them going to house and ensure everybody has a toilet facility, they also make sure they register and so that the census comes once or twice a week to collect all garbages from there, and then we make sure they treat their taxes, their sausages, and their backyard.
Now, the enforcement of laws comes usually with penalties that the people who flout these laws are supposed to be meted out to people who flout the laws. What are the penalties under this particular program that you're rolling out now? And is this something that is robust enough? If I can finish the question, is this something that is robust enough that officers of the AMA will not exploit through corrupt practices that will shoot the program down in its heels?
You don't have to assume that AMA is going to, our officers are going to exploit it. Forward. This is a country that, look, we have everybody is to do the right thing. We go to court and then the court determines how much you have to be sanctioned. And I don't see how our people, they don't have influence when the matter gets to the court. They don't have the influence, and then we have our monitoring team from the head office also that monitor. They send their reports to us almost every other day. So we are abreast with what is going on in the town.
But the assumption I'm making is a very reasonable assumption, because we have seen other local government levies that have to be charged when people flout laws, and the officers have abused these systems because there's no proper monitoring system from the quarters of the AMA.
For every human institution, these problems are definitely some problems will come, but then we have started the
and so what are your strategies for dealing with these problems when they come up? Well, we have lost Mr. Sam Aye from the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, who was giving us some answers to the Saman concept. He makes us understand that it was always available, it was always being rolled out, but they lacked human capital or capacity of resources in terms of human capital that they needed to ensure that they enforce the laws. Now they are going to do that on a full scale.
Yeah, I wish them well. My question to the AMAs, when you come to my house and I have collected my rubbish, where would you take it to? You don't have anywhere to take them to.
Well, his argument is that they have provided bins,
we do not have a system. So how about the people who live in poor areas in the city, who cannot afford the 20 cedis that maybe any of these private waste managers will collect? What do we do with their waste? These people are taxpayers anyway. I'm surprised the way he seems to underestimate the extent of the problem that they could face, re-implementing this Saman project. Anyway, good luck to you, AMA.
Well, as they say with every policy program, the implementation is the most difficult part. Let's wish the AMA well. And on that note, we take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Sasso sasso mi se come tonton preko. Sasso sasso mi se come tonton preko. Edana twami ne buseshe. Ya hakesia ne malaria. Minya me pone me sasso spray. Every mosquito start to run away. Tonton preko. Sasso sasso mi se come tonton preko. Tonton preko. Sasso kum tonton preko. Na ni sham ne die demonstronko.
Beverages Limited. Kakai 777 bitters.
Me pensa papa bia no manu bina shemuma. Ghana ne China no bina kwani ya dia shemuma. Chiche bina obeye fine. Drink and make you no waste time. Nyampa kakai bitters yeah come. It's good for your party so. Kakai bitters. Kakai bitters. For your engagement so. Kakai bitters. Kakai bitters. Good for your funeral so. Kakai bitters. Kakai bitters. It's good for your wedding so. Kakai bitters. Your wedding so. Kakai bitters. It's good for your party so. Kakai bitters. Kakai bitters. For your engagement so. Kakai bitters. Kakai bitters. Good for your funeral so. Kakai bitters. Kakai bitters.
Num nyansem entom ma nipa wonyantie dunwoto ensese apemfo nom e wo drinking sport biam Kakai 777 bitters enkasa Jame
therefore
ma yawo hoyi brensio na feyem so mo kwan
se de therefore se no wada roma manento nana se ensuo asem de mo ha na okra ye ba no ye de ensuo ba
adai se waba efie wasa yanyama mu nsuo nom no wosu di nsuo bai ene sai
na eti amra
odefo yesre wo nsuo we eye ahemfo nsuo a ye de afa mfidiem asone so aye ne kroje a Free Kingdom Beverages Limited King's Drinking Water
baima nsuo na de
Adampa
King's Drinking Water. And na King's Drinking Water.
Ahifusio de.
Nasco here, Nasco there, Nasco everywhere. Oh, my Christmas gonna be fun with Nasco every day. Yay! Dashing through the store for my Nasco holiday. So many things to choose. Yeah, Titi Swama, yay!
Don't miss out on the best Nasco deals this Christmas. Yeah, Titiso, big discounts. Buy a Nasco gas cooker for just 499 Ghana cedis. Nasco double door fridge for 899 Ghana cedis. 32-inch Nasco TV for 775 Ghana cedis. Nasco 55-inch satellite TV with DSTV Zappa for 2,399 Ghana cedis. And so much more. Yeah, Titiso kwata kwata. Be a part of the Nasco Ya Titiso promotion. For all these discounted items and more at all Nasco showrooms and authorized retailers, or call 0503 400 300 for more info. This offer is while stocks last. Nasco, bring home happiness.
The challenges facing the contemporary youth is no different from that of the generation before us. We need focus, skill set, and direction to achieve that goal. Today is ours for tomorrow. On Tuesday, 5th of December 2017, at the Accra International Conference Center, the Ghana Youth Summit comes off. First in history, Ghanaian youth are going to meet to discuss things that concern us, our challenges, our impact, and what we can do to cause a change in our lives. Come join us, celebrate youth icons and a lot of impact they have made in the society. And then we know our challenges and way forward. Join us because there will be a job fair. Come achieve something better for your future. I'll be there. Be there too.
Welcome back to the news here on GH1 television. Now, the alleged rape case involving a Lebanese National has taken an interesting twist as there are now 2 new charges filed against the suspects. The police is investigating a charge of rape as well as assault. Commander of the Airport Divisional Police, Isaac Kwejo Asante, has assured the public that the police will ensure justice is served.
Social media has been buzzing since the early hours of Monday morning when the news of an alleged rape case involving a 19-year-old victim and a Lebanese national, Haddad Rabi, was reported. Following this disturbing allegation, GHOne News team followed up to the East Legon police station where the case was reported. Upon arrival, the station was thronged with spectators and relatives of both the victim and suspects. The victim, whose name has been withheld, narrated her ordeal to the news team. According to her, this is the 4th sexual abuse she has been subjected to by Haddad.
My madam stepped out early in the morning. Immediately she left, my boss asked me to go and bath and come and prepare coffee for him. After bathing, I went to my room to dress up. He screamed and asked me to come and prepare the coffee since he was in a hurry to step out. I insisted I wanted to finish dressing up, but he declined. I went and prepared the coffee and took it to him. When I entered his room, he pulled me to his bed, took off my clothes and slept with me. I wept and then he opened the door and asked me to go out.
Addressing the media, Divisional Commander Isaac Kwejo Asante of the Airport Divisional Police said investigation is currently ongoing. He insisted all police operating procedures were followed when the case was first reported.
We are investigating 2 cases. The first one that was lodged at Airport Police Station and the one that has been lodged here as a rape case against the Lebanese. But it's still investigation. That is why I was telling you must give us some time so that we can go a bit further with the investigation so that we can tell you more about that. Now, as I speak, I've invited the personnel at airport and I'm interrogating them.
He further disclosed that the victim has undergone some medical checks and soon the results will be made known to the general public. He affirmed that the victim is currently at the Dovsu division of the East Legon police station undergoing counseling and if need be will be referred to a psychologist for further assistance. This case has not only aroused public interest, but that also of the former Attorney General Marietta Brew Apia-Opong, who made her way to the police station for first-hand information when she read it on social media.
We are fortunate to have caught this one early so that the investigation can be done properly. Very often by the time you become aware of a situation like this, time has elapsed. Evidence is lost and it becomes very difficult to follow up on it. That's why we are very keen on following up on this one to make sure that the proper investigation and proper prosecution is also done. I am definitely going to follow up on this to make sure that justice is done.
The former Attorney General Marietta Brew Apia-Opong is going to represent the victim in this case on pro bono basis. It was reported that the victim sought help from some police officers who were on duty at a nearby house. The police officers, she noted, apprehended the suspect and took him to the airport police station, but on reaching there, a policewoman on duty led the team back to the suspect's home. On reaching the house, the policewoman allegedly took 350 cedis, being the victim's salary for the month of November 2017, from the suspect and handed it over to the young lady. The victim said the policewoman stayed on until she had packed her belongings out of the suspect's home.
You cannot infringe on people's rights. I mean, rape in 21st century Ghana is something that should be of the past. We hope this one is brought to a speedy and logical conclusion. But on that note, we go to international brief. Now, the UK's Prime Minister, Theresa May, says the UK has failed to reach an agreement with the European Union to move to the next stage of Brexit talks. According to her, progress had been made, but differences still remain on some issues. She also said talks would reconvene before the end of the week and said she was confident of a positive conclusion. Theresa May was speaking at a joint press conference with the European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker.
We have had a constructive meeting today. Both sides have been working hard in good faith. We've been negotiating hard, and a lot of progress has been made. And on many of the issues there is a common understanding, but it's clear, crucially, that we want to move forward together. But on a couple of issues some differences do remain, which require further negotiation and consultation, and those will continue, but we will reconvene before the end of the week, and I am also confident that we will conclude.
Hey, yo, but why you deflex me? Why you think say I be 20? My phone always the ring, cause the girls I get plenty.
Hey, you dey flex so.
Everybody they blow me fans, like I be some new big star. Social media guru, I dey keep up with the trends. Fast internet, I dey connect with my friends. Charlie, I can flex you. Quality movie on my screen straight from YouTube.
Hey mama, who flex you?
I get money from my phone to make a sort you. With a chill for Facebook like Ice Cube. With Airtel Flex, enjoy more of what you like. Watch movies, stream videos and songs, get free social media all day long, and exciting money backs. Whatever your style is, we have a package for you. Dial *125# to choose your flex. Now, you dey flex.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's proudly brought to you by Airtel.
Glad you're still here with us. Coming up now is GHOne.
Fans were thrilled with lit performances by their favorite act at S Concert 2017, the Neon edition, at the Accra Sports Stadium over the weekend. The stadium was filled to capacity with thousands of fans singing along while artists performed. Acts like Shatawale, Stoneboy, Kiddy, Kwame Eugene, the famous actor and comedian GHOne, in his wedding gown entry, electrified their fans with their performances. Yet, acts like Samini, Ebony, and Mr. Easy could not make it to the stage. Organizers of the show, however, gave their sincere apologies.
At the 2017 edition of the annual S Concert event, some of our announced acts were not able to perform. We regret this and take full responsibility. We would like to convey our sincere apologies to all concerned, especially Samini, Ebony, and Mr. Easy. We also would want to apologize to the teaming fans who came out in their numbers to support these acts. The S Concert platform remains one for all, and we are sad this happened particularly to some of our most revered local acts. To the thousands who showed up this year's S Concert, we owe you so much for being part of yet another historic edition. See you all next year for a bigger and better event.
GHOne was proudly brought to you by Airtel.
Hey yo, but why you deflex me? Why you think say I be 20? My phone always the ring, cause the girls I get plenty. Hey yo, but why you deflex me?
You deflex so.
Everybody they blow me fans, like I be some new big star. Social media guru, I dey keep up with the trends. Fast internet, I dey connect with my friends. Charlie, I can flex you. Quality movie on my screen straight from YouTube.
Hey mama, who flex you?
I get money from my phone to make a sort you. With a chill for Facebook like Ice Cube. With Airtel Flex, enjoy more of what you like. Watch movies, stream videos and songs, get free social media all day long, and exciting money backs. Whatever your style is, we have a package for you. Dial *125# to choose your flex. Now, you dey flex.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's a wrap for tonight.
Well, thank you for watching. My name is Patrick Stevenson.
Mine is Kemini Amano. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Goodbye.
Tax the papa. And one are binding them from Juma, gutters, bridge, schools, lorry quine. Into the papa also Obia Tia, Missy, Mitia, Enti Obia and you know who knows Tia.
But I was not taxes, and now buying business. No, I find my true citizens who love and care for their country pay their taxes. Taxes, our future.
Tax, no, they be our own budget, but you won't the only day, and you won't the only day.
Was it a tax deal at the end?